What's up guys, Fodge here bringing you guys the Team Builder to my Week 6 game of the CTHBL Season 2 versus Teravolt KB. As per usual, you guys should be seeing his team on the right hand side of your screen right now, and I'm going to be walking you through each and every one of my sets that I'm bringing to this week's game and explaining why I brought them. Right off the bat, a couple of his biggest threats. Terra Sinistra he got for pretty cheap, so I think that's a very high value pick there. He's got a Mega Evolution, which not too many people have in this format, and Glalie, which can hit very hard with Glaciate boosted, I don't think it's called Glaciate, Refrigerate boosted things like Explosion can catch me off guard, right? So Refrigerate turns all of his normal type attacks into Ice type attacks, so that gives him more options with Stab that are usually a little stronger than the Ice type moves. Mienshao, great pivot with Regenerator. Noivern, another very fast pivot. Swampert, usually a really good, solid lead Pokemon. He's got a couple other Terra Captains in the Houndoom and the Chimecho. Tinkaton's a real pain for this team, actually, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And he's also got Licky, Tongue, Dedenne, and Marowak, who I think are less likely to come, but they exist, okay? Walking you through the team that I brought, one thing that I noticed with his team is that A, he doesn't have any grounded poison types, and B, his only hazard removal is Defog Noivern and Defog Chimecho. So I figured Toxic Spikes would be extremely good in this match, so I wanted to bring a lead Venomoth with Focus Sash, moveset Bug Buzz, Reflect, Whirlwind, Toxic Spikes, a fairly bulky set too. The only reason I have Focus Sash with these EVs is just to like absolutely guarantee that I get my T-Spikes off turn 1 in case he brings any lead that can one-shot me. But I don't necessarily envision that many situations will require my Focus Sash being popped. I just want to make sure they get down. Otherwise, Bug Buzz, strong move, right, with Tinted Lens. It's Stab. Nothing really resists it on his team except for the Chimecho, since it quad resists it. I believe Tinted Lens does not have as good of a damage on that, but everything else it hits neutrally on his team, so only really move I need. Reflect is there to work in conjunction with my Empoleon, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and also just to, you know, help me against physical threats, and Whirlwind is to phase anything out that wants to set up on me turn 1. Kowalski the Empoleon is here. Weakness Policy Agility Sweeping set this week with competitive to block defogs. I plan on Venomoth and Empoleon to work together a lot, so if I set up my Toxic Spikes and he brings out the defogger like Noivern, I'm going to instantly go into Empoleon because Noivern can't really do any damage to me. And if he clicks Defog, I get the +2 special attack boost. Pretty intricate EV spread this week. Really making sure I live certain hits across his team and proc my weakness policy. Namely, things like Swampert Earthquake, Mienshao Close Combat if I have a Reflect up, and I mean any other random coverage moves I should be able to take, like an Earthquake from Glalie or something. That's why I have the Reflect on the Venomoth, just to make me living super effective moves on Empoleon a little easier, and proccing that weakness policy should be a little easier as well. As for moves, Surf, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, and Agility, +2 speed on this Empoleon set, outspeeds anything on his team, barring a Choice Scarf. And then Grass Knot's pretty much there for the Swampert. Surf and Ice Beam one-shot more or less everything else at +2. So, there you go. Flygon is a Scarf set this week. Earthquake is pretty spammable overall. I mean, he's got 2 immunities in the Noivern and the Chimecho, but otherwise just 1 resistance in the Sinistra, and if he Terras out of that, besides his immunities, he's got nothing to really check the Earthquake. He might be a little hesitant to go into Noivern or the Chimecho as well, because I could also just click something else. I've got Outrage here for Noivern, I've got U-Turn here for Chimecho, and the Stone Edge was just a pretty good coverage move that would hit things like Glalie, so that's why that is there. Sped Crept to outspeed Max Speed Noivern. so I outspeed anything on his team that isn't also Scarfed and outspeeds this Flygon. Choice specs, Comfey goes crazy into his team. I had mentioned that the Tinkaton's a little bit of a problem. That is because it is only Fairy Resist on his team, so if I can get that Tinkaton out of the way early, it really opens up this Comfey to doing some big damage against his team. I have Alluring Voice and Draining Kiss. Alluring Voice is here just if I want some extra damage, and don't necessarily care about the priority coming out. I can click that Alluring Voice button and do a little bit more. If I want healing and I want the priority, I can lock myself in the Draining Kiss instead. So a little bit of versatility there. Giga Drain is simply just there for the Swampert, and then U-turn, essentially U-turn's only there because I'm probably not going to click anything else in Comfey's Learn set, so U-turn is there if I feel like pivoting it. Probably not going to click U-turn either, but it's there as an option. Speed is to creep max speed Sinistra. Anything faster, I'll probably be clicking Draining Kiss against anyway. Once again, much like last week, since it was so clutch in my game against Custa, I brought Fizdef Houndstone. A little bit of speed investment here to outspeed Sinistra if he's just a kind of four speed EVs set, bulky. So that could come in handy. But otherwise, just max Fizdef and the rest in HP. I brought Poltergeist this week just because it's pretty good at hitting a few things, namely the Sinistra again. Probably also my strongest move to click against things like Swampert or Tinkaton, so that's why that's there. Body Press does good damage against his team since I'm max Fizdef, Shadow Sneak again for priority, and Pain Split to keep me alive a little longer. Finally, last mon is Mario the Probopass. I guess kind of similar to my Houndstone here. Another Body Press Pain Splitter. This one in particular is here to trap Tinkaton. So since I said Tinkaton is such a problem for me, I plan on bringing this in to trap the Tinkaton and 1v1 it. I'm max Fizdef with Iron Defense Body Press, so that, you know, things like Brick Break Tinkaton I think he gets, things like Bulldoze Tinkaton, things that are 4 times super effective against me, I should be able to take pretty well. I do have the Terra Flying on me just in case that gets out of hand and I need to switch my typing quickly. I also have Rock Polish on this set, and the reason for that is for Encore Tinkaton, so the first turn I'm out against Tinkaton, I would probably Rock Polish, so then I outspeed it the second turn so I don't get locked into something I don't want to be locked into with Encore. That's why that's there, so I can scout for Encore. And yeah, so this is my Tinkaton Trapper. Also just a good physical wall for certain things like the Mienshao once I Terra Flying. Swampert should be able to check pretty well once I Terra Flying, so good options there with the Probopass. I also forgot to mention that my Terra type on my other Terra Captain I'm bringing this week, Houndstone, is Terra Fighting, just to increase that body press damage, namely, and to dodge super effective Dark or Ghost moves. Alright, so that's the team builder. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the game. See ya. Alright, what's up guys? Fodge here for my Week 6 game in the CTHBL League Season 2 against Terravolt. So, looking at what he brought a Sinistra with Terra Fairy on it. Mega Glalie is here, Noivern's here, Swampert, Marowak comes, which is interesting, and Mienshao. Okay, so no Tinkaton is kind of good, I think, because that was my only concern for, you know, that was his only switch into my fairy type move, so that's awesome for my specs Comfey. His only hazard removal here is the Noivern with Defog, so Toxic Spikes is free, and it gets 5 of his mons, so Swampert does lead. I did have Energy Ball on Venomoth for a while, so and he should know that I get grass moves, so hopefully he fears that and gives me a free turn. That would be awesome. No, he just flip turns. Okay, totally fine. But I get my Lair T-Spikes up, and I guess unless he has a bunch of boots on his team, then that's going to stay. He does go Noivern in here. I think I'm going to go Kowalski in case he wants to defog right off rip. He's going to U-turn. Cool, so something's going to get poisoned here. Swampert. That's fine. That is definitely okay. I'm assuming it's Earthquake coming out here. At this point I feel like Venomoth is pretty expendable, so I'm just going to go into Venomoth again. It does just get rocks up, that's fine. I didn't bring any hazard removal either. Yeah, trying to remember because I built this team a few days ago. I didn't bring any hazard removal either, so these are going to stay up, which is fine, but I do have boots on like my Houndstone, which is going to switch in a couple times. And then, you know, Probopass doesn't take much damage from rocks unless I Terra. EMPOLEON doesn't take much damage from rocks, and neither does my Flygon, so honestly, I don't really care about rocks too much. Okay, he's going to flip turn out again. I'm going to get the Reflect up. Noivern comes back in. Again, I can't really touch this, so I'm just going to go back into Kowalski. If he wants to U-turn again, then good play, but I don't want to let him defog. And it might be time to just activate this, honestly. Because what, he goes U-turns into Mienshao. I'm just gonna Agility. I'm gonna go for it. He does go Mien. If he's not Life Orb, he doesn't kill me. So I'm gonna go for it. I mean, I got my Reflect up. He's not Life Orb, I get my Policy. This is big. This is really big, and I don't think that he has any form of priority here. He could be like fake out Mienshao, right? But he would have to. He could be Vacuum Wave. That would suck. And he's not. Okay. Otherwise, he could be Ice Shard Glalie. But I quad resist that. Sinistcha comes in. His Terra type was the Fairy type. I mean, I think regardless of if he stays as a Grass type or Terra's, Ice Beam is probably my best move. Yep. He tries to just think I overpredict, so I Ice Beam, get the kill there. Glalie comes in. I mean, I just surf it, right? Brain off. He does go for the Ice Shard, doesn't kill. And I get that kill. Wonderful. Noivern gets outsped by Ice Beam and dies. Wonderful. Marowak comes in. This is just surf fodder. Great. And Swampert comes in and dies to Grass Knot. That's 6-0 for EMPOLEON. Alright. I guess short video today. GG's Terravolt. I guess a little unfortunate, but I did, you know, this EMPOLEON did go kind of crazy into your team if I got it going. You know, I'm happy I took the bargain, or the gamble, that he wasn't Life Orb on the Mienshao and actually lived that close combat and got my setup going. Yeah, he probably should have Terra'd. I think that was his better, higher percentage play. If I had Flash Cannon, then it wouldn't have mattered, but that was Ice Beam, so it did. But yeah, GG's to Terravolt. I know it's unfortunate to lose like that, but for my team's perspective, that's really big. Getting some differential under my belt is really great, because a lot of my wins have just been, you know, very tight 1-0s, 2-0s, so my first big win of the season, really happy to see that. And yeah, GG's to Terravolt. again, sorry to beat you like that, brother, but that setup just worked really well into your team, I guess. So, yeah, GG's. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.